Check, check.
Hello, hello. Everyone can hear?
Mic check.
Yep.
Mic check.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
When you don't know what mic check means. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Everybody vs. Life. My name is Wong.
And my name is Eric.
Go ahead and introduce our guest today.
And today we have a very special guest. He is a former personal trainer, very long time friend of ours. You two have great stories together, but we all grew up with each other.
Yeah.
And his name is Lucky. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Lucky. Basically, I've known Eric since I was like 5 years old, and then me and Blanc, we've been friends since we was like I was 12 and he was probably 13. So it's been a good 15 years. And then actually, right, coolest shit ever, right? His name translated to the English is Leaf. I gave this motherfucker that nickname, right? I started calling this guy Leaf.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty much, I got the honor to be in this podcast, and so
It's not an honor, bro.
I think it's more of an honor that we have you on.
Right.
You know?
But yeah, what's up? Like, what questions y'all have?
All right. I guess before we get into the questions, we'll do songs of the week.
Yeah.
Since you're a guest, we'll let you go first.
Yeah. So basically, all you need to do is just play your song and just hold it close to the mic, so we can all hear it and they can hear it as well.
Just pull it up.
They, as in like our two viewers.
Our consistent 50 viewers. Half of it's probably from
right. Making sure the audio's right.
Right.
I'm curious to hear this because I don't think I've heard the song before.
All right, so,
Maybe I have. I don't know.
Sure. So basically, like, just I like this song because I don't know, like, when you listen to it, how does it make you feel?
Right.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. Like.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this song brings back memories of Everclear.
Of Everclear?
Yeah.
Is that a girl?
No. That was a bottle. I went through half of
It
it.
just gives me like summer vibes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Right? So, like, summer picnic, or like if we out somewhere and it's sunny, or if it's a sunny day out, I'm gonna put this song on in my car.
Right. It's really hella like serotonin.
Like
running
yeah,
through you.
Like the vibe is just like dopamine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
just happy shit, you know?
That's a good song.
Yeah, for real. That's a good pick.
Young? Go ahead.
You can go next. I see you got yours ready.
I'm still kind of looking real quick, so
Okay.
go ahead.
All right. Stemming off the serotonin, this song called Listomania by Phoenix. It's an older album. I think more like high school.
So sentimental, not sentimental, no romantic, not disgusting yet. Darling, I'm down and lonely. When with a fortunate only, I've been looking for something else. Do it, let's go slowly discouraged, distant from other interests. On your favorite weekend and with this love for gentlemen only. That's with a fortunate only. No, I gotta be someone else these days. It comes and goes. A list of many
Hey,
think less petite grow.
you know what kind of vibes they give me?
Yeah.
I'll bring that mic closer.
Yeah. So
Two Door Cinema Club.
No, hell no.
Oh.
I used to
Well.
work at Hollister seasonally.
Yo.
Oh, like that beat? Yeah.
This motherfucker give me Hollister vibes. Like,
Yeah. Like just like straight up like cologne and perfume that shit.
yeah.
Like preppy,
Yeah.
high school
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
I just think of like happy shit when I listen to that, and it just brought back some like good vibes. Cause
See, I picture myself like if that song is playing, I'm like in my art studio, like painting or sculpting with clay, and that shit's just playing, and I'm jamming.
yeah.
That's the vibe that I get from it.
Just because, I get sad a lot, so I need some happy shit.
Hey,
But,
Well, so what was your guys' song and the title of it?
oh, yeah, go ahead.
my song was "I'm the One." I think it's by Justin Bieber.
Yeah, featuring a lot of people.
And DJ Khaled.
yeah.
Chance the Rapper, that kind
What
of
about
thing.
yours?
Listomania by Phoenix.
Nice. My song is Paris by Suicide Boys.
Okay. All right.
It's a little different than
Both
your,
of ours.
your
yeah.
guys' for
Right.
sure.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, I know this one.
This is a vibe.
Tell me what you know about a motherfucker out the bottom with a gold grill gleaming, make audio problems. Stop creeping out the fucking dungeon. Switchblade on him, hit the guts like a pump. Dump 30 rounds of that clip, I'll rip. Too thick with the stick that I won't miss. Little sick, real sick, don't talk shit. Whip, whip like a brick, scale on fish. Suicide nighttime, no, we don't fight crime.
It's like mosh pit vibe,
Right, yeah.
like hardcore. Like
Yeah, I like
you go to them concerts and you don't know who just punched you in your face type vibe.
I'm going to start swinging. That's all that matters.
But that song's a freaking banger though.
Yeah.
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 All right, well, that was our songs of the week, and we'll go back to Lucky. So we mentioned that you were a personal trainer. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that go? And do you still want to pursue that career, or not so much anymore, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, so personal training. Oh God, that was like, okay, so going into college, it's kind of like, oh fuck, what's your major? What do you want to do with your life? And shit, dude, I picked exercise science and I studied that shit, and then right from then on, right, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a personal trainer for the rest of my life, right? So my first personal training gig, let's see, I graduated from high school in 2014. I think my first personal training gig was in 2018, right? So let me do the math here. So I must have been, I think I was 21
Okay.
at the time, right? I was a 21-year-old personal trainer. And so, in our small town in Wisconsin, I personal trained at this super bougie, like,
Fitness center.
fucking fitness center, right?
Right.
Like, you didn't even know it existed because it was like real, like, inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And right, it was called, right, UFit. And shit, dude, I thought it was just this like raggedy whatever personal training shit. Shit, dude, I started talking to my clients, right? Yo, these motherfuckers, they're rich.
Yeah.
There's some rich Wisconsin motherfuckers, right? Like, or like even like Oshkosh, right? Like they probably, like, they're the ones who built Oshkosh, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
So right, for example, I personal trained a surgeon. I personal trained.
Wow, okay.
I personal trained an architect. I personal trained a dentist. I
Wow.
personal trained this like software developer guy. Like, okay, he's not a software developer. He's like this real smart computer motherfucker.
Okay.
And then right, I personal trained the housewife of Pierce Manufacturing, right?
Okay.
Damn.
Pierce Manufacturing, that's a fucking big ass
Yeah, it's a pretty well known company.
company in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I personal trained his wife and him, right? I'm like, damn, bro, these motherfuckers got money, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm just gonna go into a story, right, where I was personal training the person the computer guy, right? He travels for work, right? He probably I think he told me he make like $150,000 a year without bonus, right?
Damn.
This dude.
For real?
So right out, I'm a big like weights guy, and so I was personal training him one day, and then he was complaining about how his hands were like hurting.
Was he an older client or was he like mid-30s, mid-40s?
Mid 40s. I think
Okay.
he was 42. And so, right, he was like, "Oh man, my hands hurt. Like, you got me doing too much weight. I think I might need to get some gloves." So, me being me, I'm just like, "Oh man, you don't need gloves, man." I'm like, "Only wimps wear gloves, man."
You said that to him?
I said that to him.
Wow.
I said that to him. No, cause I thought we was cool, right? So I'm like, "Hey,
And in fact, you guys were not cool.
nah, we was not cool though." I was like, "Hey, only wimps wear gloves, man." I'm like, look at these. I'm like, man hands.
You're showing him the calluses on your hands.
He's showing you his like computer hands.
Yeah. And then he's like, I got white collar hands, man. Like, these gloves or these hands, they're for like, gentle stuff, like I gotta do stuff that, is not that hard. And he's like, you're a blue collar worker.
Oh.
I was like,
okay.
I'm like, oh shit. I'm like,
So he basically called you poor.
yeah. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, you right. I'm like,
Oh,
my
okay.
bad.
That's the rich way to say it. You're a blue collar worker.
And then
That's crazy.
That's tough.
that's tough. And then right, get this. Like a week later, the owner comes up to me, right? The owner's like, "Hey, Lucky. So, John Doe said that you said some things that offended him, and I was just wondering, what'd you say?" I'm like, "Oh, I told him, I was like, hey, we were just joking. I told him like he had wimpy hands, and then I laughed, and then he didn't laugh." and then I'm like, he told me I was a blue collar worker, and then I was just laughing with him, but he didn't laugh. And then the owner was like, "Oh, that's kind of rude of him." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like,
So they took your side.
"Yeah, they took my
Okay,
side."
that's
Okay.
good. That's good. Yeah.
I'm like, this motherfucker, he thinks he's top shit because he's making $150,000 a year. No, but at the end of the day, like,
Let's see what them white collars hand can do.
Right. Start swinging it. Welcome to personal training 101. You start fighting.
at the end of the day, I'm not even mad because, like, shit, dude's a bitch.
Damn.
Call him out, I guess.
Okay, so that was one of your bad clients.
All right. Well, what is like one of your best experience?
With
It doesn't have to be at that
Yeah, it
company,
doesn't.
but
it
just
can
as like your
as a
personal,
personal trainer,
right?
or it can be as a whole. Like you enjoy doing personal training, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. So one of my best moments, I was personal training a 80-year-old woman, right? 80-year-old, bro. She old as fuck, right? That's past retirement.
I mean, yes, but you didn't have to call her old as fuck.
That is pretty old because most Asian people, most Hmong people don't make it to 80 realistically.
Yeah.
So I was personal training at a retirement home, right? I took the challenge.
Was this with the same company?
No, different company.
Okay.
I took the challenge because I've never personal trained old people,
Mhm.
so I wanted that opportunity, and so right, she raised her hand. She's like, "Hey, yeah, give me some personal training." Long story short, she had a ton of shoulder issues. She's been dealing with shoulder issues since she was like 40 years old, right? So from
Okay.
like 40 to 80, she
4
had
decades.
yeah. So for a long time, like she couldn't raise her shoulder past like 90, even
Okay.
even like doing this shit, right?
Right.
Wow. Okay.
And so from like the time she was 40, she's gone to chiropractors, physical therapists, massage therapists, like everybody to try to help her with her shoulder issue. Shit, bro. Like I said, long story short, after 3 months with personal training with me, she gained all of her range of motion.
Her mobility back. Right?
Yeah.
Just a lot of stretching, or was it a lot of like lightweight lifting, or just kind of like resistance training, or?
Yeah, so I first thing I do is I do like a mobility assessment, and then after I do a mobility assessment, I do a strength assessment, and then after like the two, I come up with a plan. And so what we started off with was, for her specifically, we started off with stretching, because I'm like, yo, this motherfucker tight. She can only get here.
Right.
She need to get all the way the fuck here. So
Right.
so we started stretching, but then like once she got about here, we started doing like strength training, right? And so basically, with the benefits of like, doing strength training, like movements and shit, you're bringing oxygen and nutrients back to, the site of injury, which accelerates, progression. And so you can kind of think of that as like, just kidding. I don't know, but but
No, I get what you're saying.
but
though.
basically we started off stretching first, and then we started doing strength training, and then I did a mix of both, stretching and strength training on the same days. And then like in a matter of 3 months, all of a sudden, in 40 years, what nobody else could accomplish, I accomplished in 3 months. And she was just like extremely grateful. She was like, oh my gosh, like you're this, 22-year-old intern that just helped me in 3 months, where, it's like, she told me like, like I said, massage therapists, chiropractors, physical therapists, they couldn't even help me. Like they didn't, like they tried everything. Like I paid thousands of dollars to them. Whereas, I was an intern. I did that shit for free.
Right.
I did that shit for free. And so that was like a super, rewarding moment where,
Sometimes it just like, just take it back to the basics, and that's almost with anything. And the fact that, you were able to do that with your experience, and that was like a motivating moment for you in your personal training career, it must have made you like want to pursue it some more, right?
Yeah, I was just like, damn, I'm better than a chiropractor.
I just saved someone's life.
Started getting full of yourself.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, but it comes down to passion. It's like, wow, like because I took a lot of time, right, on the assessments. Like I said, I did a mobility and then strength. And then, based off of, my knowledge on both areas, I'm like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is where she needs to get to.
Right.
And so, in a matter of, 3 months, we only trained 2 times a week. So 2 times a week for 3 months. She went from like, getting to the specifics, she was only able to lift 2 pounds. Right.
Oh, so you guys are doing everything with 2-pound weights?
What was that, like 16 sessions? Like, or am I doing?
For 3 months? That's
3 months.
3 months. That's 12 weeks, twice a month, or twice a week, so 24
sessions. Yeah.
give or take. Around 24.
Yeah. So basically in 24 sessions, I brought back 40 years worth of like mobility.
And you said she was only able to lift 2 pounds weight.
2 pound.
I mean,
weights.
it's understandable. She was 80,
Right,
But so that's the amount of weight that you were working with.
Yeah, so actually we weren't even like really working with weights. I was mainly working with the weight of her arms.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So like we weren't so like, we talking about shoulder raises, we were just doing body weight shit.
Right.
But like in terms of like strengthening and shit, so I would have her do like, up like rows, right? She was doing rows. That's where we increased the weight, right?
Oh, okay.
Because you want to get stronger here and stuff.
Right.
And then like we were mainly working on mobility and stretching. And then as soon as like, we got her up to like almost parallel, I started having her doing like lat pull down stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And then as soon as like she started doing lat pull down stuff, all of a sudden her mobility started getting better.
Right.
And so we started doing, more stretches, more strengthening exercises, and in like 24 sessions, bam. It was a proud moment because she came to me and she was like, I've tried everything, and I'll give you a try, and I hope you can help me.
And this is when you first started.
This is when I first started, and I told her, I've never done this before. I've never done this before, but I'll try my best. I'm like, I don't know if I can help you, because right, she said, physical therapists, chiropractors,
So
massage.
it's a lot to live up to.
Right, it can become a little intimidating.
Yeah, because like everybody else failed her, and I'm like, I'll try my best.
Yeah, well, now
I
I
just got out of school.
which I can kind of see why you said I'm better than a doctor. I'm better. I can see that now.
No, I was still in school. This was
Oh,
my
okay.
this is my last semester.
Oh,
This is my last semester, and so I'm like, fuck. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I've been studying this shit in college for like 4 years. I've been studying this shit for like 5 years before college. I'm like, okay, what do I know? Yeah, and I put this shit together, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, after like 3 months, I'm like, shit. I'm like, I did it. Whoa.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
super cool. Though.
Yeah.
No, it's I like sometimes I think about her because like I'm like I want to know if she's still alive. It's been like 5 years.
Do you ever think about reaching out to that retirement home?
I do.
And what's stopping you? Nothing, my guy. Why don't you just do it, dude?
See how you were thinking about that? Nothing.
You're trying to think of an excuse, and there's no excuse.
The only thing stopping you was you.
Yeah,
It's a 5-minute phone call, and if she's still alive, it's an hour visit.
yeah.
And because you were able to help her so much, I guarantee she remembers you.
When I left, she was she was very emotional. She was tearing up, and she was just like, thank you so much for the 1 year that you've been working with me, because you've done more than everybody else have in such a short time. And she's like, I didn't even have to pay you. And she's like,
You're sitting there like, you can tip me.
Wait,
Though.
I wasn't getting paid. No,
you can tip me though.
Right.
but it's that is like the most rewarding aspect of being a personal trainer.
You essentially changed someone's life.
To get back to your question about kind of like why I'm not doing it anymore. Basically, after the retirement home, I went to go work for Anytime Fitness, and during like my year there, they started having me run pre-made programs.
Yeah, cookie cutter
programs. And I'm a very open and honest person, right? So I started telling my clients, I'm like, hey, so Anytime Fitness wants me to give you guys cookie cutter programs, and I don't like that because my programs are better.
Right.
And I'm like, they're telling me to give you guys this, give you guys that, and I'm like, do you guys want me to make you guys programs? And long story short, they're like, yeah. They're like, we're paying you for personalized personal training programs.
Right.
And so they're like, yeah, like just keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, I will, because I'm like, these programs suck.
Right.
But basically, I left the personal training industry because Anytime Fitness wanted me to run their pre-made programs, and I'm like, my philosophy does not in line with your guys's what you guys are trying to do, because they're basically trying to mass
like a one size fits all kind of thing.
yeah,
right?
mass production. They're like, oh no, like they can do this program, just give them heavier weights. I'm like, nah, this shit don't work like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's I left. I didn't leave the industry. I left a company, right? So fitness is still very much in my life. I love it. I use it every day. I try to influence everybody around me, and I guess for like the last 5 years, I've been putting on hold like my fitness YouTube channel.
Oh, you do have a YouTube channel?
No, I don't. But like I've been thinking about it for like the past 5 years,
bro. So the thing with that is, it's just like when me and Eric started this podcast. You just gotta do it.
Literally,
you're gonna start off with like shit views, shit everything.
You're gonna be so nervous, or maybe not.
But dude, you got the credentials. You got the knowledge, bro. You know what would work for you if you bring somebody on and you do like a 3 month. You upload a video every week and you do like a
3-month transformation kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of lit.
Literally, that's all it takes. Like, Blah and I, before we started this podcast, we were just talking about it at the bars. And you know what happened? A few months later, we started the podcast.
Yeah.
And all it,
The first thing you got to do is just buy a camera.
right.
Once you buy the camera, you're like, all right,
All right, I spent hundreds now. Now I gotta make the
Right.
commitment. Right? I gotta make it back somehow, you know.
Yeah.
So like you said, you didn't fall out of love with
Personal
fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you transitioned your whole career from personal training and fitness to finance, right?
Yeah.
So what was the moment where you're like, okay, maybe this career isn't for me right now?
Yeah, so basically, shit, dude. As a personal trainer at Anytime Fitness, bro, they were paying me like $14 an hour.
So at that point, you're like, okay, this might not be it right now.
Yeah, cause literally, so get this right. I had like 4 coworkers. One motherfucker, right? She was like, I don't know. She was like mid 40s, and she was a previous client.
She was a personal
Oh,
trainer.
I remember
too.
you telling me this
Yeah.
story.
She was a personal trainer too.
She was a personal trainer, right? Somehow, right? Great down the grapevine. We found out she's making like $50K. She's a personal trainer too, and she's making $50K. I'm making $30K, right? She has no credentials. Her only credential was that she lost like 80 pounds
Right.
while being a client, and she went from being a client to being a personal trainer there. And her only credentials was that she was able to lose 80 pounds, and like I watch her personal train, and I've heard like other personal trainers like, be like, dude, she doesn't even give a shit about her clients.
Right.
Like, she's literally giving these people cookie cutter programs. I'm like, dude, she's giving people shitty ass cookie cutter programs. She doesn't give a shit about her clients, and she's making $20,000 more than me at fucking. I'm just like, fuck this place, dude. I'm like, how am I making $20,000 less than this motherfucker when I have way better credentials, and I give a shit about all of my clients, right? Even the clients that like are like, they don't give a shit about their progress. They're just there to be there. I'm there for them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, dude, fuck this place. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you gonna pay somebody $20,000 more when they have no credentials? Like the only thing I think at the time, because down the grapevine, it's because she was in her in her mid 40s,
Right.
so she has bills to pay and shit. I'm like, dude, who gives a shit, dude? She's not even doing anything.
Right.
And that was kind of the moment where you're like, okay, maybe I need to look for
Take a
different
step
career.
back. kinda
Yeah,
thing.
take a step back and look for a different career path.
Not necessarily a different career path, but it was like, this isn't where I want to be, and so, kind of changing directions. I look at things more about your success is about what you learn and what you do with it, right? Success to me is not about how much money you're making per se. So
And I mean, that's how it should be,
So it's kind of like, okay, making money is always great, but it's not always about, oh shit, how much money can I get this year, and how much money can I make next year, and then how much money can I make 10 years from now? It's like, what are you learning, and then how is that making you a better asset to like other companies?
Right.
Right, because so I'm now going on 4 years out of college. I've had 4 different careers.
Damn. Sometimes it takes time to figure out what you want to do realistically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So right, I graduated in college in 2019, and then I started my full-time personal training gig in 2020, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of 2020, I started working at a really great hospital in Minnesota, right? At the end of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and then that lasted until, kind of midway through 2021. I decided, I wanted to move back home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started an insurance job as a, claims adjuster at a, pretty big company in Wisconsin in 2021. And then, right, I worked there. No, I'm sorry, 2022. I started my job there in 2022. And then I ended my my employment there just recently, right? It's now 2023, and now I'm in finance, right? I started my I started my adult life, in personal training, and I started personal training full time, and then all of a sudden I started working at a hospital, and then I started working at an insurance company, and then now I'm in finance, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like,
You're testing the waters for everything, man.
Right. Yep.
That's not a bad thing, man.
No, it's not. And there's one thing that I don't know if you guys know Gary Vee.
Yeah.
He's a successful entrepreneur.
my guy.
Yeah,
That
and
dude's a loser, dog.
no, he's not.
Go to every garage sale and flip everything on eBay.
Okay, maybe he over exaggerates that stuff, but
Did you not hear what he recently just said?
what?
He goes, if you are not making over 100K, quit your job and go to garage sales and flip for 365 days a year.
I mean, besides that stuff, he was.
That's what he's known. But that's what
besides
he's
his whole
known for.
persona.
Hey, but that's what he's known
right.
for, though.
But what I'm just saying is like in your early 20s and your mid 20s, your late 20s, that's when the time it's like when it's the perfect time to
test everything.
Right, yeah. And that's always what he preached, and I'm like super happy that you've done that because at least for me, I was in a call center for 5 years and I don't jump right into my career, and that's
Honestly, you're doing better than me too. I spent 5+ years at a factory, and I decided to go back to school after dropping out the first time. So it's like, I can see what Eric is saying. With how your resume looks, in your head it might look bad with, quote unquote, job hopping.
mm-hmm.
But with people that I know people who work in HR and who deal with like recruitment and hiring and stuff. It's almost normalized for job hopping now with the personnel nowadays compared to 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
With job hopping, a lot of people understand that now it's about money. Now it's about work life. The making it work and working from home and all that stuff. And with your situation, the fact that you were able to go from personal training to finance to insurance to working at a hospital, I bet you your resume just blows a lot of people's resume out of the water.
Yeah, honestly.
Realistically.
Because for me, it was call center, web development, UX designer, right?
Right.
I've been surrounded by like computers, whereas you went from personal training, like something active, into like insurance, into finance, like right. So you hospital.
Dude,
so
10 years from now, bro, you're gonna be able to get anywhere,
right.
get into any position
because,
that you want to
like,
get into.
like a jack of all trades kind of thing, right? So something to be proud of, honestly.
So after a year, quit this job and go to another one.
No. Finance is actually where I actually want to be. I plan to be here for at least a couple of years, maybe 5 years. The reason being is you need finance in all sorts of fields, right? You talk about music, dude, finance, bank, finance, sports, finance.
All right, it's something that's not gonna go away.
It'll never go away, and so it's super transferable. But then also you can use it in your regular life. You know what I'm saying? But then also as a personal trainer, and when I worked, I worked as a Medicare broker, right? For people who are 65 years and older, they go on Medicare and they get all these benefits and stuff. I learned sales. Sales is huge.
And you said you learned this when you were working in the medical field?
No.
Or was this when you were in the insurance field?
In insurance and personal training.
Sales is tough.
Sales is tough, but sales is everything because I I realized very quickly after college, interview is sales.
Yeah.
You're selling yourself to the company. Why should they hire you, right? When you throw your resume, right, in that application, sales, right? That gets their attention. They call you for a phone interview.
You
right?
try to raise up a girl? Sales.
It is sales, sales, my guy.
Sales.
Right? You get that phone.
What
interview.
can you get?
Did you guys
them
ever
to
take
buy
a,
into you?
Did you guys ever take a sales class in college?
No.
Yeah.
I don't
you?
think I. No, I don't think. I
See, I took 2 sales classes and they teach you that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know exactly what Lucky said. It's pretty much selling yourself. You know, and it stems into like relationships, even at that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what can you provide? Tell me what you can provide. Show me what you can provide, and based off that, we'll see if you can compete with these other people.
Right.
And if they just go off your resume, you're going to be thrown in a group
Mm-hmm.
of 10, 20, 30, 40
Basic
people.
ass.
Right.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So for real, like I got pretty good at it pretty quick because, shit, I started YouTubing this shit, bro. I Googled like sales techniques and the psychology of sales.
All right, Luck, you ready? You got 30 seconds. Sell yourself.
Sell
Ready?
myself. To what though? What does it pertain to? Like, is this an interview? Like, is a girl trying to date me? Like,
you can make it simple. So let's try to sell me a product.
No, sell yourself as a person.
Okay.
Prove that you are better than this person, this next person
All right.
behind
I must
you.
start
You got 30 seconds.
now.
Go.
yeah. So, my name's Lucky. 27 years old. I don't really, know much about anything, but what I can tell you is I'm very open and honest. What you want to know, or if you have any questions, ask me, and I will, let you know, truthfully, and even if I don't like you, I'll let you know. But that doesn't mean
Done. All right. 1 out of 10. What do you give that?
I must say like a 2, honestly, because I think
You sound very flustered.
right.
Yeah, y'all caught me off guard.
All right, Eric, go. 30 seconds.
30
I'll
seconds?
give you like a 4 or 5
Try to sell myself for like a job interview or for what?
for you as an
Sell yourself.
individual.
Just sell
As an
yourself.
individual.
Oh shit! Let me
Okay,
let me
okay.
get that.
I gotta get myself ready. And now I'm scared. I'm scared.
And
Just wait.
go.
Hold on. My heart's racing.
And go.
My name is Eric. I am 28. I am from California, and I grew up here most of my life. And I am very tech savvy, and I'm also very lonely and depressed. Done. I wasn't going that route, but that came out that.
Bruh, be for real, man.
Okay. It depends on if like I'm doing a job review or I'm doing
Networking.
Networking.
You go to a networking event.
Okay.
Introduce yourself. Maybe we should have said that for you too.
Yeah.
Hey, you're 30 seconds up.
Yeah.
I give you less than Lucky, dog.
Yeah.
Because if I was an employer, I'm not trying to hire somebody who is sad and depressed. Yeah. It's bringing.
Well, you didn't give me a
It's
context.
bringing in the company culture down, dog.
Company morale.
Right.
You would be not a good fit.
Maybe I should have said like you went to a networking event where there's a bunch of people.
Oh, see, that'd
Yeah,
be.
but
I feel like that'd be a lot easier.
You're just selling yourself as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I we'll do it over.
Okay.
Networking
We'll start with
event.
Lucky.
No.
Networking event.
No, you gotta go.
But we're all gonna start over though,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
because now we got context.
All right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's start
we're
over.
We're gonna delete it. We're gonna delete it.
Yeah, we can.
Alright, okay.
We can black out black.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
okay, so the context is you're at a networking event with people who are in finance, personal training, medical field,
Or whatever,
everything.
whatever field you're
podcasting,
related to, right?
big name corporation, Fortune 500 charities, everything, anything you can think of,
That okay.
right? And you have 30 seconds to introduce yourself and make yourself known, so people have an idea of who you are and what you
I
bring.
feel like my heart's racing.
Okay.
No, I'm sure we're all not that great at it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Lucky. Let me know when.
Go ahead.
Now.
Hey, so my name is Lucky. I am a 2019 alumni from UW Oshkosh. I was a former cardiovascular disease technician from the Mayo Clinic of Rochester, Minnesota. And I actually, just transitioned from working as a workers' comp adjuster at Secure Insurance, and now I am a accounts payable coordinator for a well-known company in Wisconsin.
Stop. Lit.
Okay.
That was better than your first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more context. There's more
Right.
context, yeah.
Because, like, I guess the first part wasn't was unprepared just
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we didn't know what it was for.
Right, we didn't know what it was for. But if I know what it's for, then, right, this is a networking event. I need to, give them my most recent resume. So that was basically my most recent resume.
Dope. I don't know if we can beat that.
Right. My heart's racing. Oh, my God.
You're nervous.
I said,
Oh, my God.
I said
This
sales.
isn't even real.
Sales, you got to be good at sales, right? Like you said, relationships. Go ahead.
Okay.
You want to go? Or you want me to go?
You can go.
All right.
You got
Yeah, give me a sec.
Yeah. Oh, you can't hear my heart, but it's.
All right, I'm
racing.
ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, it's good to meet you. My name is Blong Yang. I'm currently attending Fox Valley Technical College, pursuing my business management degree. I think I would be a great asset to your company or whatever you bring to the table. I don't provide the proper credentials, but with my organization skills and my pursuit and trying to improve myself and everybody around me, I feel like I can benefit you, the company, myself, and we can bring ourselves to the next level and achieve what we want to achieve.
Time.
Ooh, solid.
Wow. I'm so nervous.
Solid. Hey, you got the most time to prepare for this. Go ahead.
Right.
Was that decent?
That was
good.
good.
That was good.
Oh, my God. It's like you prep for this your whole life.
No, it comes from not being able to provide anything physically, emotionally, or credentially, and you
Okay.
kind of learn how to.
I'm going to skip because I feel like
Talk
I'm too
about yourself.
nervous for this. Oh, my gosh.
Dude, you're not doing it for real though, dog. You just.
I know, but
Just
I'm
say it.
still, like, nervous.
All right, ready, young? 3, 2, 1.
My name is Eric, and I am a UX designer. I was a former web developer. I specialize in SEO, anything Adobe Suite, and I've been in this career for, I'll probably say almost 10 years now since I started web development, specifically in front end. And so I have a passion in e-commerce as well as insurance, and hopefully I can bring that to the table.
Ooh. Hey, so
And stop.
so because I know you, right, personally,
Mhm.
I think what would have helped you, right, what would have sparked an interest, right, you should have started with, I started off as a janitorial worker.
Fuck.
You did that, right? You did that, right?
Hey, no one's supposed to know that. No one's supposed to know I was a custodian.
No, because
Wait, how did you know that? Did I tell you that?
yeah, you told
Oh,
me that.
okay. All right.
No, because
Did you know that I was custodian?
Yeah, you told me that.
because bringing
Never mind
bringing that to the table, like it's like, why is this guy here, right? And then all of a sudden, right, you talk about being a UXI developer,
right, my upbringing,
and
that kind
right,
of
your
thing.
upbringing. It's kind of like rags to riches. Sales people love that shit, dude.
Yeah,
like
you know,
that rags to riches story.
It's
I think
I
all three of us, we could have,
Yeah,
if we
Yeah,
had more
yeah.
time to prepare,
right.
we could have properly
Like,
prepared, like properly sell ourselves more.
yeah.
I think same thing with mine. I think I did okay, but I think like what Lucky said, if I was able
Excuse
to
me.
go from rags to riches, like
Yeah.
I'm a former college dropout who decided to go back to school so many years later because working the factory life wasn't for me, and I feel like I could provide whatever. Go from there. I feel like I would have been able to sell myself more.
Yeah, honestly, that would. I mean, same for me. Like, that would have been dope to start off as a custodian. But yeah, agreed.
I think with Lucky, I think one thing that because so in sales class, this is called an elevator pitch. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
I heard of that.
It's an elevator pitch because you know how you're going from one floor to another floor. If you're in a, let's say you're in an elevator with like Bill Gates, you got 30 seconds to start yourself. And I think what you could have done is, I know that you like to talk like proper and slower so everybody can get all the information. But if you're trying to start yourself in 30 to 45 seconds, you gotta hit all of the points directly that you want to hit. So I think that's something that if the time ever comes to that, like you're in an elevator with whoever you look, Gary V, you know, you kind of want to start yourself because it almost sounds like, in his eyes, I feel like it's gonna be like, okay, this is the same spiel that I hear from everybody else.
Right. When you got 30 seconds, you gotta tell them like why you matter.
Right. You gotta hit all the credentials you want to hit.
That's tough.
I think that's why, like with mine, I'm like, I don't bring the proper credentials, but I can help build the company with my whatever skills that I can bring. You know, I can help boost you up. You can help boost me up, type shit. But yeah, that's kind of how I looked at it. That's why I kind of said that shit.
No, that was solid, my guys.
But bars break.
Bars break.
Look.
Yeah.
Drinking Coke on the table. Going on the table in the closet.
Yo, I have a cat. He needs a pat. Come sit in my lap. Drink some and sap. I don't know if I'm fucking.
You gonna beat this part, right?
Yeah.
Lucky's ass is fat.
Lucky's got a fat ass. I ain't never gonna pass.
You got a dump truck.
This shit gonna last.
Ooh, bars.
If someone comes by, don't ask.
Hey.
You know, it's about to go down. I'm gonna call it a task. I'm gonna put no. Where the fuck was I going with that?
Zesty, my guy.
Zesty.
I know exactly what you're gonna say too. But, all right, well, Lucky's in the bathroom. I know you're into fitness. Were you ever considering pursuing like a fitness career too, or not?
Yeah, so I was going to go with. So when I was in my last job, so before the job that I'm in now, I really wanted to pursue personal training too. And I was going with my NASM. I just call it NASM, but it's you can get a personal training cert.
Right.
And it's it's called the. Come on now. It is called the National Academy of Sports Medicine. Basically, you can get your cert that way. But it's basically you have, I think, 6 months to take the test, but you basically just study up until then, or you can really take it whenever. Right. But I really wanted to do that, pursue personal training. But then I don't know what happened, but I kind of just fell off of that. And then fitness has just always been a part of me, and I think it just became a lifestyle. And the more I like thought about it, the more I'm like, maybe I didn't want to necessarily pursue personal training. Is more of like just the enjoyment of people succeeding,
right?
And maybe that doesn't mean personal training, but no, I just really still enjoyed fitness in general, you know.
Interesting.
But back to where we are.
All right, so we're a little bit into the podcast.
We can start with
well, enough about your career. What did you want to talk about, dog?
Yeah, we can start off with our childhood, how we met. We can go on to like the crazy stories you two have that I don't know about.
We could talk about like relationships. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Give us a topic and we'll stem off of it. So it lies on you, my guy.
We can go the first time like you've ever been pulled over. I like this story because Blanc was with me the first time I was ever pulled over. Man, it was hilarious. So
for us, not for the third.
Who was the?
I'll tell the story. So I was 17 at the time. I think we were all 17 at the time. we weren't 18 yet. But anyways, we were driving. This was like the middle of January, right? In Wisconsin. It's fucking cold as shit, right? In Wisconsin, middle of January, there's ice and snow everywhere. It was probably like 5 degrees outside, right? Maybe even like 0. But we were driving down, fucking, I think this was like Ohio Street. Was it Ohio?
I think no.
Wisconsin.
It was either Ohio or Oregon. Oregon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, one of the streets.
And so we were driving down this motherfucking road, and there was a cop in front of us, right?
Oh, I think it was Ohio because.
Yeah. So right, there was a cop in front of us, and we were going, and we were coming near a stoplight intersection, right? It was flashing red, our way, and then the other way is flashing yellow, and so I thought it'd be funny to be like, next to the cop. So we were driving next to the cop. We were all like laughing and shit. And instead of stopping at the fucking flashing red light, I ran it.
Wow.
That's because you weren't fucking paying attention to
No.
the light. You're paying attention to the cop.
Yeah,
man.
dude. I was paying attention to the cop, and I was like, shoot, right? I yield, right? I didn't stop. I yield because I was like kind of like
Yeah, because the cop was turning.
Yeah, the cop was turning, and
Yeah.
the cop was turning right. I was turning left, and then right, the cop turns right. I turn left, and then like I look in the rearview mirror, I see the cop pop a fucking U-turn and turn on his lights. I'm like, fuck, dude. And then, long story short, one of our buddies had to hop out of the car and walk home because, I was still like, I just had my license, so you can.
I think you only had your permit at the time.
No,
Or
I had my license. I had my license.
because it's that 6-month period.
Yeah.
Right?
So like you can only have one person in your car. So I didn't get a ticket, but one of our buddies had to hop out of the car and like walk to our other buddy's house.
Did the cop
no,
not
the
see?
buddy that got out of the car, we were going to his house. So he walked to his house.
Did the cop not see him come out of the car?
No,
The cop
made one of us get out.
The cop said there can only be one person in your car.
And
So
it was me, Lucky, and another guy.
and so the other guy had to walk.
Oh,
Yeah.
So he made him walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nobody got a ticket, but motherfucker had to walk in like 5-degree weather.
Really? Why was that a thing?
Because because you know
it's
how when you
law.
first get your license, there's that 6-month period.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. I don't remember what it's called though.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you first get your license, in the first 6 months, you can only have one person in your car at a time.
Okay.
Oh, shit was fucking funny, dude.
I remember because we still drove to his house.
Yeah.
And it was like 45 minutes later, and he's like, "Bro, why did you guys come back and pick me up?"
Why didn't you guys?
We were too scared.
We were too scared, dog.
Oh. How old were you guys?
We were like
17?
Yeah, we were really young.
Okay.
We didn't.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I might have graduated already. No.
No.
I probably was a senior. You guys
Yeah.
were juniors.
That's funny.
Okay. So the first time I got pulled over, it was after a night of drinking, or it was after a night of partying, and I must have been like 18 at the time. Didn't have my license yet, and I decided to drive my friend home in the morning, and me being hungover plus me not having a license. Going down Main Street, all of a sudden a cop pulled up behind me, and I'm like, oh shit. So I turned down a one-way, and the cop turns down the one-way with me. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then, after like another minute, and he's like, legit, he's like on my ass. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to turn here. And I ended up turning from the outside lane.
Mm-hmm.
Outside, so I'm in the right lane, and I turned left.
Yeah, the rightmost lane in the one way.
Right, and then he pulled me over, and he's like, "You have a license?" I'm like, "No." But it's funny because I know I smell like alcohol.
Oh man.
So the thing was, the cop was pretty cool. It was like 8 in the morning. It was real early. Like, okay, you just need to call somebody with a license to come pick up the car, and you guys are free to leave. I'm gonna sit here and wait for you guys.
Oh, so you just got a warning?
Yeah.
Wow.
But pull over, that was like the first time I've gotten pulled over.
Wow.
Wow.
So I got
Damn, great story.
nah.
Hey,
Wow.
My heart was fucking racing, dog.
Yeah. I bet. I mean,
What about you? First time getting pulled over?
first time and only time. Knock on wood, this was when I was 18 and I was driving back from Dairy Queen with my ex-girlfriend my girlfriend I used to date at the time, driving home, and then I just had a expired license plate and they just pulled me over. The funny thing is, so you know how like there's there's an entrance and there's an exit, right? When you go into somewhere like parks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I went to pull over in the exit side. And then the cop was like, so did you know you just entered in the exit? I'm like, oh. And then, no. I
that's
was
some
nervous.
bullshit, bro. What the
And
fuck?
then
You said this was at a park?
it was on Jackson. It was near where by the bridge towards the end before you cross onto basically the it was by the river basically on Jackson. Way over there by the restaurant Beckett's. Over there?
It's not Jackson, bro. That's Main Street.
No, it's Jackson.
Beckett's.
Beckett's, yeah. Where East Bay? That's Jackson.
That's Main Street.
No, that's not Main Street. Main Street is the street over. That's downtown.
Beckett's.
Anyways, I got pulled over, and then she's like...
So you were going the wrong way, essentially.
Yeah. But that wasn't the reason why I got pulled over. And she's like, did you know your license plates are expired? I'm like, no. She's like, oh, okay. Well, here's a warning, but then I'm going to give you a ticket for not having proof of insurance because the insurance was expired. But I did have...
Bro, everything was expired on that car.
But it's because I wasn't carrying the current insurance cards. So I got a ticket. But it was only $10. But anyways, that was the only time, and that was when I was 18, which was 10 years ago. Almost 11 years ago.
That was the only ticket you've ever gotten?
Yes.
Luck, do you remember your first ticket? I remember my first ticket. I went to a local supermarket, and I got caught. So I did. So growing up, we weren't financially like stable type
Right.
shit.
Yep, I get that.
So
Yeah, we were poor.
so
You can say that we were poor. We weren't rich or nothing.
yeah. So the first ticket I got was a $30 ticket for stealing, and what I stole was some gum and a pack of pencils.
Oh, was
I needed pencils for school.
Was this the time you guys were together? Or was that a different
This
time?
is my first ticket.
Oh.
I don't know about Lucky's
okay,
first
I
ticket.
gotcha.
But man, that $30 ticket, it's fucked up too, because I had $30 in my wallet. But it was the excitement of like, I got it for free. But after that, man, the people that I was with, I think we didn't hang out for like a good 3 months after that. You know, that wasn't our choice. That was on our parents, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my first ticket. You guys remember yours or not?
I already sent mine, so,
I don't remember my first ticket, but basically, man, I've been pulled over by the cops so many times. I'm not even scared of them anymore. I'm just like, you're just another person.
Right.
Like
That's not a flex, by the way. No,
it is.
Gangster.
It is.
dog.
It is.
Gangster, dog.
No, because I remember my first time getting pulled over, but I was like, "Fuck! Oh my god!" Like all the adrenaline like went through my body.
So do you think that comes from getting pulled over so much, or do you think that comes from like getting older?
I would say both because like my mom got pulled over for like the first time when she was like 32, and she was like, "Oh my god!" Like I was so scared, like my whole body just froze. That was like my first time getting pulled over. But like, dude, I'm 27 now, and it's like I see a cop, and I'm just like, okay, you're just another person. Because I mean, we got a buddy who's a cop now, right? And I know plenty of cops, Hmong cops. You know what I'm saying? I know plenty of Hmong cops and shit, and it's just kind of like, okay, I know who you are. Like, you're not even scary. So I just look at them like, just another person. They pull me over. Okay, here's my insurance. Here's my ID. Like, what do you want? I didn't do anything. Because I have ran into that situation where, they pulled me over because, I think my license plate were like like it was like within the month, like it was like expiring, like, you know, I think my license plate expires in September. And so they're like, oh yeah, you know, by the way, you know, your license plate is expired, and you know, you have till the end of this month to, you know, renew it. And I'm like, how did you even know it was expired? Like, you can't see that. And they're like, oh, you know, like we look at the colors, you know, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I know you didn't see that shit, because I try to look at people's colors. I'm like, I can't tell what color that shit is.
Right.
Yeah. So like,
But like I said, I think that's part of growing up, man. After a while, you're just like, I'm grown. Even if I get faulted for anything, I'm gonna have to take care of it regardless.
It just comes down to yeah. So
I think the most fucked up time I got pulled over was I was driving my dad's car one time.
do I know this?
Nah, I don't think so. I was driving my dad's car one time, and he pulled me over randomly. I think I was on my way to like go eat at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, like p.m. at night.
Oh,
So yeah, pulled me over, right? And he goes, "Is your name so and so?" My dad's name. I said, "No, that's my dad." Why? He goes, "Oh, well, your dad has an expired." This is when my dad wasn't driving anymore because of his age.
yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, your dad has an expired license." I said,
Oh,
"Oh yeah, he doesn't. You know, he doesn't really drive anymore. He's getting up there in age, and his health is declining." And he goes, "Okay, well, we were just making sure." And then he checked my license and all this shit. And he eventually he goes, "Okay, just drive safe." And the person that I was with, I kind of looked at him, right? And I'm like, wait, so he pulled me over because the cop specifically said, "Oh, you look like your dad," right? And I turned to my passenger that I was with. I'm like, "Bro, do I look 5'1", 95 pounds, dog?" You know what I mean?
damn.
I'm like, and at that time I didn't have no face hair. My dad had, my dad had a fat ass mustache.
right. Yeah.
Just like, I know damn well I don't look like my dad. Like, you
Right.
tripping, dude.
5'1", 95 pounds.
Yeah. Put the context. Yeah, Blong was like 5'8", 5'7".
Yeah, I'm like 5'7".
Bro,
Yeah.
he was not 5'8".
Or 95 pounds. No one.
That's
no
like
one's 95.
That's like my leg, dog. That's like my leg.
my third leg. Oh man, that's funny.
All right, so after getting pulled over, did you guys have any other run-in with the law that you guys want to talk about, or not?
See, the thing is, I'm clean, but I know you two have stories. So let's
I
go.
mean, it's not really stories, but I mean, whoever watches the podcast already knows my background. I got a DUI back in the day, a few years back, and I'm dealing with that now still. But Luck, do you have any that you feel comfortable talking about, or are you good on that topic?
You let us know.
Nah, I'm perfect.
Perfect.
Perfectly imperfect.
All right, so from there, I guess we can. What is the time looking like?
We're looking at 1 hour and 3 minutes. We can start asking just random questions.
So you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. I'm just curious for myself. With me not being able to stay in a relationship for more than a year and a half, 2 years at a time, right?
I thought, was that the longest? I thought you've been in a relationship longer than that.
My longest was 2.5, but my recent one was a little over a year.
Okay.
But regardless of that, with me not being like in a long term like you guys have, and Eric being divorced,
It's okay. You can say it.
what
doesn't hurt anymore.
what tips
Just a little.
What tips and tricks would you give, because you've been in the same relationship for 10 plus years now?
Yeah.
What tips would you give us and anybody who's listening on how to maintain a healthy relationship?
And don't say be a simp. I'm joking.
No. I would say like comprehension. So people always talk about communication, right? You can communicate all you want, but if you don't if you don't comprehend what I'm trying to tell you, then the message is not gonna, it's not gonna reciprocate. You know what I'm saying? So if I tell you, don't do this, you might hear don't do this, but like what I'm saying is don't do this because it hurts my feelings, right? Right. So it's kind of like you have to be able to comprehend the deeper meaning to that shit. And so I've actually learned this fucking throughout the whole 12 years because it used to be where I wasn't able to comprehend it, right? I would hear it, right? I would hear like, when fucking girls say, I'm not mad. Right. Or when they say I'm fine.
Damn well they're furious.
I'm like, oh shit, she fine. Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
I'll see you, babe. I'm gonna go lift.
And then, fucking like 12 years later, when a girl says I'm fine, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in trouble.
You remember on January 3rd, 2012, what you did to me that day?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you I love you.
No, I get that. I 100% agree with you.
Guys, I can't go hang out anymore. She says she's fine.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, I 100% agree with that. And I didn't learn that until after, But go ahead.
If she says I'm fine, you're in trouble.
She's not fine. She's not fine. Help me. As he's getting dragged back into the house.
But yeah, it's comprehension, right? So, and it also has to do with, both parties, right? It comes down to that quote, it takes two to tangle,
right?
Right. It takes two to make something happen.
Like one person might be like, in 100% and the other person 0. And if that person stays 0 and then all of a sudden that person that's 100 goes to like 95 and then 80 and then 60 and that other person's still at 0, it's not gonna work, right? Even if that person that's giving it 100% for like a year, right, and that other person's still at 0%, like that person's just done, bro. It's over. It's not gonna happen because if that person's already out of the commitment, right? Basically, that's what a relationship comes down to is commitment. It's kind of like think about it like a job, right? Are you committed to your job, right? Some people work just hard enough to not get fired, whereas some people work like their ass off. They're like super committed to the company, right? The employer's the same way, right? Like some employers, you put in hard work and they give you bonuses, right? They give you raises and shit, right? They're 100% with you. But other employers, you put in 100% every day for like 5 years and they don't give a shit about you.
Right.
You're just a workhorse, right? And then you know what happens to that person? They quit. They leave the job for a different job, right? You look at a relationship, it's kind of like that, right? Once somebody's made their decision to leave, it's kind of like you can't really change their mind, in my opinion, because it's like they've already okay, I don't really want to be in this relationship, so their mind's already made, and so they left, and it's just kind of like
tears.
You can't change their mind. It's kind of why divorce rates are like super high now. It's kind of like people don't want to commit no more. That's why you see like fucking people hooking up left to right with like body counts like 20 to 50 people. They don't want that commitment.
Right. So to sum it up, it all comes back to comprehending what you and your significant other says, and getting a full understanding of what is behind what they're saying, essentially. Yeah.
Long story short, you can cut it down to this, right? But yeah. Basically, I had a friend, right, kind of tell me like, this maybe a few years ago, right, kind of tell me like, them and their significant other, they weren't on the same page. And when you're not on the same page of where you want to be and where you want to go, it's not going to work out. Like something, like when you first were together, right? 10 years ago. You guys were on the same page. Let's graduate high school. Let's, go live in an apartment together. Let's get a dog together, right? Everybody's on the same page. And then all of a sudden, fast forward, 15, 20 years, and all of a sudden, they're not on the same page anymore, right? One person might just want to live a regular life and just have fun all the time. And, one person wants to, be more and, have nice things. And it's kind of like, dude, if you guys are not on the same page, it's not going to work out. And right, it goes down. It kind of it reminds me of right, Nick and his girl, right. They've only been together for like a year and a half. Right now, they're on the same page, right. But Nikki's girl is very young, and in 5-10 years, her views might change. She might want to go back to school. Or, she might be like, oh, damn, bro, like, this guy's, not what I want because this is what I want instead.
Right. Well, I understand what you're saying. We can be walking in for that.
I get what you're coming from with that, with being on the same page and everything, because the next page could be in the end of that chapter. But you also don't, and just to stem off of that, right, you don't want to base off, like, ooh, this is going to change in a year just because we're on the same page now. I mean, that can go for anything, right? So I guess what are you trying to say as in, like, obviously things are going to change. So how do you maintain that then from your perspective? Because I thought that was going for me.
So the thing is, like, you can initially start on the same page. Exactly what you were saying. And 5 to 10 years from now, you guys might be on different pages, right? So when that happens, are you trying to imply, like, we're not on the same page anymore, let's call it quits? Or would you want to be like, let's figure out why you want to go this direction and I want to go this direction, and let's find a happy medium, and let's continue to make it work because we were able to make it work for so long. Let's find a happy medium. We do what you want to do, we do what I want to do, we make it work. Yeah. Or is it more so, like I said, call it quits because now you want to go this way and I want to go this way?
It's all about finding that happy medium because, like I said, I graduated college 4 years ago, and I've had 4 different careers, and thankfully, my spouse has been there for me 100% of the way. She's like, I see where you're coming from. Let's do it. I see where you want to go. Let's do it. But it's also, in my opinion, and from my experience, it has to do with trust. Because, for, all the mistakes I've made and all the setbacks I've had, I've always bounced back from it. Right? I've never, done something and then never been able to recover. I've been able to, do things and, make mistakes and come back every time. And I think my ability to do that and show, my significant other that, I can prevail no matter the setbacks. I think it entrusts her in my ability to make decisions. You know what I'm saying? So, like going back to that happy medium, it's kind of like, we talk about, okay, you want to do this. Why? Okay, you want to do this, right? It contradicts what I want, but, why? How does that benefit us, right? It's an us thing. It's not a me or an I thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when there's conflict, it's like, why the fuck did you get drunk? And it's like, yeah, I just, it was my boy's birthday party. I drank, one too many shots, and like I said, comprehension. I don't like myself, getting fucked up and puking all over the place, but I need to work on that. It's like, okay, instead of going overboard, I'll start drinking water once I start feeling that buzz. It's because you can't be too hard headed. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta humble yourself, right?
No, for sure.
You gotta humble yourself.
See, I used to think like a similar way too. But with my recent mishap, not so recent anymore, because it was going on for like the last 2 years. Because I used to think that a similar way, I wouldn't say exact, similar, but then my thought process now is that anyone can change at any time, because everything can change right at a minute, a second, millisecond. So for me, it's more so of like, it doesn't, maybe this might sound Debbie Downer, but like, it doesn't matter how much you trust them and how much they trust you. Like anything can literally change.
So with that being said, do you promote that change? Do you encourage them to change, like your SO?
Yeah, I think that,
Or does it depend on what is being like the topic of discussion?
I think it also really depends, but I think if it makes them happier in the outcome, then they should do it regardless.
So what if it makes them happier, but it destroys you? Like it doesn't align with your values and.
Personally, like,
How does that work? How do you
now
manage that?
is like, if you guys don't even align on that, then yeah. Personally, I think everyone.
Would you just call it quits, or would you like try to work on it?
I mean, I'm gonna try to work it out, but regardless, like over time and time again, if nothing's changing, then you're just preventing the inevitable,
Okay.
right?
So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, are you guys talking about like actions that they're doing, or are you talking about like their beliefs? Like outside,
it's a good mixture of both.
like outside of religion, but like certain beliefs on certain situations. Like, do you encourage that change, or at what point do you be like, okay, this isn't gonna work because our values don't align, or you guys understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you based from my experience and what happened with my divorce is this was like 6 months after like our daughter was born, and she we were on the couch on a Tuesday night, and she was like, I don't feel the same anymore. I'm like, I don't know what you mean. She's like, okay, maybe I'll just push it off, right? Months later, she would bring it up again, and over time, it's like, well, what are we going to do? Change? We're going to do date nights, stuff like that, right? And we just, every time we did that, it just made it harder. And what we found out is that we were just not the same people we used to be, and we grew over time, that kind of thing.
Right.
And that's when I knew that if
You kind of had to accept it.
right, if leaving me is going to make you happy, then I want what's best for you, that kind of thing. So,
I only asked that because like in one of my previous relationships, it came down to not actions being changed, but like values being changed. With one of my previous exes, it was she wanted to be child free, like you guys know what child free means, and I wanted children in the future, and we just kept pushing that topic off to the side over and over and over again, until a year and a half down into the relationship, where we had brought it back up, and it's like, okay, we need to figure this out because, I don't want to waste another 3-4 years, and we're married and we're living together, and then we divorce over this situation when we could have ended it 3-4 years in the past,
right.
and eventually, after discussion with her, she had came to the conclusion of, okay, I'm willing to have a kid. But now it makes me feel guilty, because
pressure,
it's like,
right?
You only want a kid now because I want a kid. Are you gonna hold resentment as a mother to the child because that's not the child that you wanted? And vice versa. If we didn't have kids, am I gonna have resentment towards you as my wife because you didn't want to have kids? So at that point, we had broken it off because, like you said, communication is key. Understanding each other is key. Try to work things out, find a happy medium. But there are just some things where there's no happy medium. It's either one or the other.
The inevitable.
And so that's actually where you guys perfectly comprehended, right? It was inevitable. You weren't going to be able to avoid it, right? Eventually, right? Another 5 years, another 10 years, it would lead up to that. And like you said, the same shit, right? Like, is there going to be resentment, from you or from her? You understood where she was coming from,
right? And
she's understanding, why you want kids. But like you said, you guys aren't on the same page, and so that's where it cuts off because you don't want to have issues, 20 years down the line and divorce when you're 50 with a 20-year-old kid.
Right. No, and I had told her, I'm like, I understand. Well, with her, for that situation, I had told her, I'm like, I know your values, you know my values, and the fact that you're changing your values because of me, don't ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up with a set of values. Keep your values. Don't ever change it for nobody. And the fact that you're changing it for me, I want you to reconsider everything, really think about it. And at that point, I already knew that the relationship was going to end sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even like sudden. So it wasn't like, oh, my heart's broken. It's like, okay, we both still love each other. We do want to be together, but it's almost impossible to be together. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how the relationship ended. We're still on good terms, but it's just the values don't align, and that's a very big part of like what you said. Communication and comprehending each other and understanding what each of us want, and trying to find a happy medium.
But
like you just got to understand that some topic of discussions don't have a happy medium.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I understand what you're saying. The fact that you and your SO is able to make it work because you guys understand each other like that, it's very impressive. 12 years is nothing to joke around about.
No.
Yeah, man. Hey, like I said, man, if she says she's fine.
You go back to that. But it's true, though. It's true that I've been through that as well. So
We'll end it off with this one, right? Would you rather have the power to shrink anything or make anything grow?
where did you come up with that question?
But think about it. Would you rather have the power to make anything grow or make anything shrink?
And that's like you can shrink anything.
Anything.
I think I'd want to have the ability to grow anything.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I'm going shrink.
Why?
Because think about it, dog. Right?
Wait, when you say grow, can you grow the lifespan of someone's life?
Yeah, you can grow anything, bro.
Okay, then I'm going to grow.
Right?
Everyone that I love and care for lives forever.
I would say like
or
growth,
you say physically.
Physically. Well, I'm having the power to shrink, bro. You know why? Like,
you thinking of like Ant-Man?
No, because like I'm not shrinking myself. Like this dude jumped me, right? And I got my ass whooped. You know what? I'm gonna shrink your shit. That shit's small now, dog. Good luck with that.
Hey, but
oh shit, this dude stole my girl.
But you can think of the same way. Okay, you can think of the way like if that dude beat your ass, you be like, I'm gonna grow your head to 10 times the size.
Or I'm gonna grow myself to like 10 foot and beat your ass.
Yeah, but what's more of a disappointment? Though? The guy who stole your girl and got up this big.
What if like you're like in the middle of the ocean and you're drowning?
Ooh.
I'm gonna grow myself. Bam.
You-
Or you could just shrink the ocean, dog.
Oh, shit. Oh shit, you can shrink anything.
You can shrink the ocean and just stand up.
Oh shit.
Technically, if you shrink the ocean, you drop because the ocean floor is that deep. Depending on where you are, there,
shrink
so
it.
you die.
You shrink it small enough to where you could just stand up. That's it.
What if you're like, no, we're going too deep into this.
But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Once again, my name is Blanc.
And my name is Eric.
My name is Lucky.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.